life. Story of Dhruv Maharaj. It's a very special personality, Dhruv Maharaj, and his story is very, very instructive. All of you must have heard the name of Dhruv Maharaj. So Dhruv Maharaj was son of Uttanpad. Uttanpad was the son of Swayambhu. Swayambhu was son of Brahma. So very close to Brahma. Just 2 generations down. Dhruv Maharaj. So Uttanpad has 2 wives. What was the names? Suniti and Suruchi. So who was the favorite queen of Uttanpad? Suruchi. Ruchi means taste. Niti means morality. Suruchi was more beautiful. Suniti was more moral. Following them. And the king was more attracted to Suruchi, who was more beautiful. Generally in this world we are more attracted to the beauty than the morality. External beauty than the internal beauty. Suruchi was externally beautiful. Suniti was internally beautiful. Suruchi had a son, his name was Uttam. And Suruchi's son Uttam, Suniti's son Dhruv Maharaj. Like, so you know the story. Uttanpad was once sitting on a throne. He was the king of the entire planet. Just 1 generation down Brahma. He was the king of the entire planet. And his son Uttam was sitting on his lap. He was playing. Dhruv Maharaj, small boy. What was the age? 5 years. 5 years was the age of Dhruv Maharaj. So he thought, I should also play. So he also tried to get on to the lap of his father, Uttanpad. Nearby, Suruchi was standing. So Suruchi stopped Dhruva. Dhruva was a 5-year-old boy. He could not understand why I have been stopped. I am also the son of the king. And Suruchi told, being the son of the king is not the qualification. What is the qualification? Qualification is you should be the son of the queen. You should be. So if you want to sit on the lap of your father, you should go do penances and in next life take birth from my womb. Take this benediction. Then you will be qualified to sit on the lap of your father. So 5-year-old children are already very emotional. So Dhruv Maharaj was extremely disturbed. He was very much affected. His heart was broken to pieces. And he looked at Uttanpad. Uttanpad has no reaction. He tried to be neutral. Generally, it is not possible in this world to be neutral. So Uttanpad did not react it. So he looked towards his father. Father did not support it. So he was broken to pieces, and then finally, he went with such a broken, affected heart. Dhruv Maharaj went to his father, went to his mother Suniti. Suniti was living, already Suniti would live outside. Suniti was living outside the palace. So, when Suniti already knew about the whole thing from the attendants, and Dhruv Maharaj came, Dhruva came crying tears, and Suniti was also into tears. And Dhruva told the story. So what was the first thing Suniti told Dhruva? So Suniti told Dhruva Three things, three important lessons. Like that. Because Suniti was devotional. Suniti has devotion towards Lord Krishna. Suniti told Dhruva, don't wish evil for anyone. Don't have malice for anyone in your heart. The first thing Suniti told Dhruva. So in this Dhruva Maharaj story, you see the first lesson is Dhruva is just a small boy. And by her behavior, Suruchi brought out the worst from Dhruva. Dhruva was into anger, Dhruva was disgusted, Dhruva wanted to take a revenge. And Suniti brought out the best from Dhruva. Eventually he became Dhruva Maharaj. So in every personality there are good and bad sides. So it is very important for those who are elders, who are caretakers, that we should try to bring out the best from the person. And spirituality is a process. We have to understand this concept. From the same Dhruva, Suruchi brought out worst, Suniti brought out the best. And spirituality is the process by which we can bring the best. That is why the spiritual practices are done. Because in our personality also good and bad side are there. But by the practice of spirituality we fan the good side. Now Dhruva Maharaj was very disturbed. Extremely disturbed. So Suniti told, don't wish evil. So Dhruva Maharaj heard this, but it was not the solution for Dhruva Maharaj. Then Suniti told, we all get the reactions of what we have done. Anybody who has done bad, he will get the reaction. So you need not to do anything bad to your stepmother. Anything anybody does, he gets the reaction. That is how the God has made the law in this world. The way we act, the reaction will come. That's it. There is a court in this world also. But ultimately, whether you get justice from this court or not, justice will come to everyone. Dhruva Maharaj heard this, but he was not satisfied with this. Then Suniti told, your mother, whatever Suruchi told, it's harsh but truth. Why? Because your father doesn't love me. Your father doesn't even consider me even a maid servant. And Suruchi is her favorite queen. So that is truth. So you have taken birth from the womb of unfortunate woman. But in this world, whatever you want, like that, Supreme Lord Vishnu can give you. Even a million mothers like me cannot give you that much love which Vishnu can give you. Like that. And your mother is told, right, if you want a kingdom greater than your great grandfather, Vishnu can give you. So this Dhruva Maharaj liked. So the second lesson we can understand in this world. See, Suniti took the essence even from the words of Suruchi. In this material world in which we are living, this world is full of nonsense. And Kali-yuga means full of nonsense. So if you don't learn the art of seeking the essence, we will always remain in the debate and arguments. Like, only if we are seeking the essence, then only. So even from the mouth of Suruchi, words which came out not with good intentions, but because it was truth, Suniti took it. And then Suniti told, Dhruva Maharaj asked, where will I find Vishnu? Suniti said, I have heard great sages, they go to the forest and there they find Vishnu. Previously people would go to forest. So Dhruva Maharaj left. When he left? In the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, Dhruva Maharaj left. And with a determination in his heart, I want to get a kingdom greater than the kingdom of my great grandfather. So Dhruv Maharaj's father was Swayambhu Manu. Grandfather was, the father was Uttanpad. Grandfather was Swayambhu Manu. Great grandfather was Brahma. Now he wanted a kingdom greater than Brahma. Brahma only has created the universe. So how can you get something greater than what Brahma has? That was the ambition of Dhruv Maharaj. That is why this story is important for the students, for all of us. Why? Dhruv Maharaj approached God with material ambitions. All of us have a lot of material ambitions in our heart. Somebody want to crack civil services big. We want to make big in this material world. But our ambition is not as big as Dhruv Maharaj. Right? So, but we also have material ambitions. Dhruv Maharaj also has material ambitions. He did not want it Supreme Lord. He did not want it pure devotional service. What he wanted a kingdom. Like that. Like we all have material desire. So that this is, the Shastras are telling, even someone has material desires, he should approach Lord Vishnu. That's what Dhruv Maharaj is teaching. Why? Because Vishnu knows how to deal with our material desires. The demigods do not know that. They don't know that. So Dhruv Maharaj went in the middle of the night. Just imagine, in the middle of the night he went. In the middle of the night he went to the forest. Now we cannot go outside in the night because there are dogs. Just imagine, in previous time there are jungles. Tigers and lions are roaming around. Like that was the Dhruva means determined. Dhruva means determined. Dhruv Maharaj story gives us a clue and it gives us a path. If you want to practice spiritual life, you need to have some determination. Are we determined to chant the holy name? Are we determined to practice four regulative principles? Spiritual life is a life of determination. It's a small boy, what chances he has? Even of survival, what to speak of finding Vishnu. So in the Shastra, there is a story of sparrow. A small sparrow. तो वो चिड़िया थी, उसके अंडे समुद्र में बह गए. तो चिड़िया ने समुद्र से बोला मेरे अंडे लौटा. तो समुद्र का कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं है. तो उसने बोला आई ड्राई यू अप. चिड़िया ने समुद्र में बोला स्पैरो टोल्ड द ओशन आई ड्राई यू. कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं समुद्र. So that small bird started taking the water in her small beak, some drops, going to another place, putting it down, again coming, taking some water in the beak. It appears funny. कोई भी देखेगा, so many people were laughing. क्या कर रही है चिड़िया? थोड़े? Will the ocean will ever dry up with the efforts of sparrow? It will never dry. But she kept trying, she kept trying, she kept trying. Hours of effort of the sparrow, it was noticed by Garuda. Garuda, seeing from the top. My younger sister, she's younger but she's trying so hard. Garuda came down. Garuda is a mighty word, mighty, carrier of Lord Vishnu. Garuda told ocean, you give back the axe or I will dry you up. Now ocean has to respond. So ocean gave back the axe. In spiritual life, we are like this sparrow, small sparrow. Our efforts are tiny. And the material world and the Maya is like the ocean. The power of Maya is like ocean. Maya is extremely powerful. We can't handle it. We can't handle it. But if we are determined, if we are committed to practice spiritual life, and spiritual life practice means not someday, every day. Madhvacharya says, I judge a person not what he is doing someday, but what he is doing every day. When every day we are committed to the spiritual process, there are so many challenges, people are laughing. Outside people are laughing. Mind and senses are posing so many disturbances. But every day we are chanting the holy names. We are attending the morning program, we are following the regulative principles, we are reading the Prabhupada books. It attracts the attention of Garuda. Garuda, Acharyas are like Garuda. Like Srila Prabhupada and these Acharyas in the spiritual world, they are like Garuda. So they see, oh, this child is working so hard. Like that. And they shower their mercy. Like that. And by their mercy, we are able to do what is impossible. Like that. So that is what Dhruva is going on an impossible mission. It's not a possible mission. And when Dhruva is going, it's determination in his heart. In the wildest of the forest, you can't see any human being there. He finds Narad Muni. How Narad Muni comes there? If we are sincere, Krishna arranges the association of devotees. If we are sincere. In the wildest of the forest where no human being to be seen, Narad Muni comes right there. Why? Because Dhruva does not know where is Vishnu, but Vishnu knows where is Dhruva. We might not be able to see right now where is God, but God is watching our efforts. Krishna is watching our efforts. And Krishna arranges if we are sincere. So because Dhruva was sincere, that arrangement was made. So then there is a discussion between Narad Muni and Dhruva. Narad Muni tells Dhruva, oh, why are you trying so hard? You are just a small boy. What is the problem if somebody insulted? Insult and praise, it is for big people. Small children doesn't take it seriously. Just play. And Dhruva was not satisfied. Narad Muni said, okay, even if you are grown up people doesn't take these things seriously. Is it not? Because by our own reaction, by our own karma, whatever we do, it comes back to us. Just be pacified. Dhruva said, your words are good, but not for me. Your instructions are good, but not for me. Because my heart is disturbed, and the Kshatriya blood is flowing in my veins. I want to take revenge. Right. I want a kingdom greater than my great grandfather. Please tell me the honest way. So Dhruva's response was not ideal, but it was honest. It was not ideal in the sense he was dealing with Narad Muni, big sage. So he should have accepted the words. But the response was not ideal but honest. He was not a cheater. He was not a hypocrite. He was not hiding. He told what is the situation of his heart. He told that. He actually, what you are telling is true, but I am not able to take it. I am not so qualified. So please tell me the honest way. Narad Muni says it's very difficult to find Lord Vishnu. Do you know yogis do tapasya for years? And some do even for lifetimes. Still they are not able to get a glimpse of Lord Vishnu. Right? Dhruva says, Narad Muni says it's almost impossible what you are trying to aspire for. Dhruva Maharaj says, please tell me the honest means to achieve this impossible. Dhruva Maharaj was clear. So the spiritual master test. Our life is full of tests. And repeatedly we are supposed to choose Krishna. Krishna consciousness. We repeatedly fail like that. Sometimes in those tests. When we are reading, when we are hearing, we are chanting, we are doing morning program, we are coming to the association of devotees. There are so many options to us. It's not easy. How many times you look in the mobile while chanting? Even one thing is very difficult for us even to do it. Concentration. How many thoughts comes in the mind even once come to even center? Every time we have little thing, there is a chance. So Dhruva was determined to achieve what is impossible. So when Narad Muni saw, okay, he is confirmed. So Narad Muni told the path. He told Dhruva Maharaj the path of Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga means Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. 8. Yam means do's. Do's means Ahimsa, Satyam, Asteya. Do's and don'ts. Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Asteya. Ahimsa means non-violence. We should not eat non-veg. When we eat non-veg, we break the principle of Ahimsa. We should not do any himsa on any of the living entities. Like Asatyam, we should speak about the absolute truth. We should not do gambling. Gambling breaks the principle of truth. Because in gambling you are bound to speak lies. Like Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means no illicit sex. No sex outside marriage, no sex before marriage. And no wrong contemplation about the opposite sex. This is also Brahmacharya. Like, similarly, there is a niyam. Niyam means what you are supposed to do. Shuchi, santosh, this all comes in. Cleanliness, external cleanliness, taking bath, keeping the clothes clean. And internal cleanliness, when we chant Hare Krishna, it cleans the mind. Right? And remaining satisfied, not increasing material hankerings too much. Santosh. Aparigraha, not too much accumulation. Because if we accumulate, whatever we have to maintain. Whatever we want to maintain, it takes the energy of our consciousness. Like that. And lesser consciousness we are available for the spiritual things. That is why Kali Yuga people have more things, but they don't have refined thoughts. Like that. So that is why simple living. These all are the principles. Yam, Niyam. So Yam, Niyam, when you do, your body and mind is stable. Because unless your body and mind is stable, higher things you cannot do only. Like you are sitting in the class of the best teacher, like Anand is teaching maths in Bihar. And Anand is the name of the teacher, right? Even in that class, but if your body and mind is not stable, you can't grasp. That is why Yam Niyam is given. It keeps your first, when you do Yam Niyam, the body becomes a purity. It keeps you stable. Then there are asana and pranayama. Right? The way we sit, it also affects our thought process. Like, you have seen some yogis sitting like this, photos previously. This is pranayama, the breathing process. So breathing process helps in controlling the mind. When the breath is regulated, then what happens? You can control the mind. Mind control is possible by breathing process, and also when we chant Hare Krishna, it cleanses the mind. So when there are no more impure thoughts in the mind is calm. So many thoughts in the mind is agitated. So when Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, then Pratyahar. Pratyahar means you should not have any interaction with sense objects. That is why Ashtanga Yoga cannot be performed in cities, performed in forest. Nothing bad to look at, nothing wrong sound you should hear, and nothing wrong you should speak. No interaction of senses on sense object. That is Pratyahar. When you do this, then Dharana. For 12 seconds you can concentrate your mind. Then Dhyan, 144 seconds, 12 into 12. You can concentrate. Then Samadhi, 12 into 12 into 12, 25 minutes. So we see in this age of Kali Yuga, so difficult it is. So this AC is working less, so the fan is above, the cooler is behind. Still difficult for us to hear. It's Kali Yuga. How many people can actually go to the forest? Even one limb of Ashtanga Yoga people cannot perform. Or Dhruva Maharaj did in Satyuga. So that is why we have to understand. And Dhruva Maharaj, when he went there, he went by walking. And first month he was only he was eating some fruits, kapita fruits. Those fruits are also tasteless, not tasty fruits. Not eating mango. Kapita fruits. It has no taste. Monkeys eat it. Once in 3 days. Then in the second month he was only eating dry leaves. Once in 6 days. The third month only drinking water. Once in 9 days. Fourth month air. Once in 12 days. The fifth month he stopped breathing also. At the end of fifth month. So you cannot imagine what kind of austerities he did. That was the process in Satyuga to achieve. Like that. Now the same thing, the same result is being given in Kali Yuga. And the process is changed. Meditation. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave us the process of the holy name. So when the Dhruva Maharaj was there, so Narad Muni, when he met Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni told the whole process. So Narad Muni gave him the mantra. What was the mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the mantra Narad Muni told you should chant and meditate. Similarly, we all have got the mantra. What is the mantra? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But we have to chant it with the intensity like Dhruva Maharaj did. We will also get the benefit if someone chanting the holy name very properly with absorption. That is why in chanting the holy name properly also these things, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, they are also included in one way. These things are there to avoid distractions. When we are chanting the holy name, first we have to avoid distractions. We should not keep looking in all the directions. We should try to be at one place and chant and then we have to hear. Like Dhruva Maharaj was chanting the mantra with great absorption. Mantra has unlimited power, but the potency of mantra gets manifested. Depends on the faith and absorption with which it is chanted. That's how the potency of Mahamantra gets manifested. So all of us have the same opportunity. And Narad Muni told Dhruva Maharaj everything. You go to the bank of Yamuna, go to Madhuban forest to worship the deity. Right? Similarly, we come in the morning program, we take darshan of these lordships. We cannot go to forest nowadays, there are no forest. And even if there might be forest, they might not be Satoguli forest. So nowadays those kind of conditions are almost impossible. But our acharyas gave us the condition. How we also worship the deity, how we take darshan of the deity, everything like Dhruva Maharaj told, we also have the opportunity. The speciality of Dhruva Maharaj was, he met Narad Muni, after that there was no follow-up sessions. There was no MMCs for Dhruva Maharaj. He had full faith that whatever my spiritual master has given, it will work. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada has given this process of chanting of 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and following 4 regulative principles. But we lack that faith. Success in Krishna consciousness depends on the satisfying the spiritual master. So how much faith we have on the instructions which we receive? Because bhakti works on the currency of faith. Same process, but depends on the faith the person carries, he gets the benefit. Same Mahamantra, everything same, but the results will be different, depends on the faith. Dhruva Maharaj has full faith, and with that faith he executed the instructions of spiritual master. austerities. Pala eating once in 3 days the fruit, once in 6 days the leaves, once in 9 days drinking water. Austerity means what? The inconvenience we take in following the instructions of spiritual master for advancing in spiritual life. That is austerity. So we may not undergo, we don't have to undergo that kind of austerity. We cannot sustain. Probably we might not be alive only. But we have to take the austerity of implementing the instructions which comes. Whatever little inconvenience we go through in following the instructions which is given to us, that is austerity. And to the degree we take that austerity, we will be successful in life. That's what Dhruv Maharaj is telling. Right. So many a times we are not willing to take the inconveniences which are involved in following the small instructions given to us. We are not given instructions at the level of Dhruv Maharaj. But whatever we are given, if we follow, definitely we will achieve success. And then Dhruv Maharaj sees Lord Vishnu face to face. Right? And the same Dhruv Maharaj became so powerful when he stopped his breathing, the whole universe choked. And then Lord Vishnu came. And when the Lord Vishnu appeared face to face, so Dhruv Maharaj offered prayers. Those prayers are offered, they are given in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So our practice of Krishna consciousness helps us to experience Krishna in our lives. All of us are already experiencing Krishna to some degree. And our experience will become more profound to the degree we practice Krishna consciousness with faith. And then when Dhruv Maharaj saw Vishnu, he returned. Lord Vishnu blessed him. What? You will be the owner of Dhruloka, which is higher than Brahma's planet. And for 36,000 years you will rule here. Right? So when we practice spiritual life very seriously, even materially one will not be lost. One gets more than one wants. Dhruv Maharaj wanted, he could not have thought of Dhruloka. But Vishnu gave him more than what he wanted. But after getting it, Dhruv Maharaj was lamenting. Just after seeing Lord Vishnu, Dhruv Maharaj says, Kachin Vishinnam Api Divya Ratnam Swami Kartardhosmi Varam Nayache. What a fool I am! Kachin, I am looking for the broken pieces of glass. And Api Divya Ratnam, your beautiful darshan is in front of you. After seeing Lord Vishnu, we may have many material desires we all have in heart. But to the degree we experience Krishna, we realize nothing is nonsense. Like somebody is very hungry, he is extremely hungry. And he comes to the kitchen and he sees the dal is over. Then he looks at the bucket of sabji. Sabji is over. Sweet is over. Raita is over. Only chapati is remaining. There is no ghee on chapati. Chapati is dry. Like rubber, tandoor. That chapati is remaining. But he is too hungry, so he is thinking, let me eat it. But just at that time, another devotee comes. And he comes with a big plate of feast. In that there is a popped up puris and there are 3-4 sabji, there is sweet, rasmalai, mango shake. Everything perfect. And he says, oh, this extra plate. So what he will do with the chapati? He will throw that chapati. That's what happened to Dhruv Maharaj. When he experienced Krishna, he realized the kingdom greater than Brahma is useless. That's what his experience was. But still Lord gave. Lord gave not only Dhruloka, Lord told Dhruv Maharaj, you will rule 36,000 years over the entire planet. Your senses will remain young for 36,000 years. Dhruv Maharaj didn't become old. And you, with a purified heart, You will not get contaminated by power, position, anything. Just see when Lord gives. Lord's compassion is boundless. He gives more than we want. And He gives in a way that it doesn't harm. It doesn't harm. 36,000 years Dhruv Maharaj ruled without attachment. 5 साल की सरकार में आदमी को कितना अटैचमेंट है, मुश्किल है तो छोड़ना, सरकार को छोड़ नीचे कुछ भी छोड़ना मुश्किल हो जाता। But Dhruv Maharaj, without attachment, with pure devotional heart, ruled the entire planet for 36,000 years. And after that, went back to spiritual life. So when we practice spiritual life intensely, even if we have material desire, but if we seriously practice devotional service, that is the lesson. We should not be lukewarm in our practice of devotional service, otherwise we may get cheated. The Jesus says, be hot or cold. If you are lukewarm, I will spit you out. Jesus Christ is in my book. Be serious in the practice of devotional service. Everything will fall in the way. If you have material desire, whatever desire, Krishna has everything. Like that. And Krishna knows what to give, how to give. 36,000 years Dhruv Maharaj was ruling, just imagine. So when Dhruv Maharaj was coming back, now his father came, Uttanpad came to receive him. Suruchi also came, Suniti also came, his brother Uttam also came. Suruchi also, heart of Suruchi also have changed for Dhruv Maharaj. Uttanpad also became, his heart also changed for Suniti also. Everybody changed. Prabhupada writes in the purport, anyone, when Supreme Lord blesses someone, everybody else is bound to bless him. When the Supreme Lord blesses someone, everybody is bound to bless him. Like, so he got the blessing. So, and Dhruv Maharaj has no anger, no vengeance, no revenge for his stepmother, Suruchi. Why? Because now he was experiencing something very high. So most of the problems which we face in this world, most of the problems, like that, the complete solution happens when the consciousness grows. The consciousness grows, Dhruv Maharaj was hardly thinking, अरे भाई stepmother ने क्या बोला था, क्या किया था, these are not the thoughts only. So that happens as we become purified. As we become purified in our life, like that, naturally most of the problems get solved. And then Dhruv Maharaj comes back, he rules. He is ruling for 36,000 years. And it is ruled for 36,000 years. The time came now for him to go back to the spiritual world. So when Dhruv Maharaj was thinking, so he again left the kingdom. Such a big kingdom he left. He went to the forest again. Again he meditated the way he has meditated before. And again he saw the Lord within his heart. And the Vaikuntha plane came. The plane came right from the Vaikuntha. So the Vaikuntha airlines came, the Vishnudutas came, Nand and Sunand with 4 hands. And they welcomed Dhruv Maharaj. He said, please come. And the death personified was standing with folded hands. Death personified. So Dhruva stepped on the head of death and boarded the plane of the spiritual world. Like that. And went to the spiritual world. And as he was going, he thought, oh, how can I go without taking my mother? But the Nand and Sunand, the Parishads of Vishnu, they understood the mind of Dhruva. And they showed to him, the mother was already going ahead in another Vaikuntha plane. Like that. So just see such an amazing personality, amazing hero Dhruv Maharaj is. At the age of 5, what he did? Age of 5, he took seriously the practice of devotional service. and the course of history changed. He ruled for 36,000 years. Everybody loved him. After 36,000 years, he went back to the spiritual world. Like that. He changed the course of history. So, Dhruv Maharaj's storyline, we can understand that there is a great opportunity when we come to spiritual life. When we come to spiritual life, there is a great opportunity. We are contacting a very powerful personality. Krishna is not an ordinary personality. We hear 33 crore demigods, right? See, Krishna is on the topmost in the hierarchy. And the expansion of Krishna comes down. The Mahavishnu, first Chakravyuh, second Chakravyuh, like that. And then Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, like that. It's expansion of Krishna. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are the prominent lords. Below them are the Indra, Varuna, Chandra. These are the demigods. Below them are the Devatas. Like that, 33 crore people are involved in the government, universal government. Taking care of small departments and here, there. Like we have, na? From Prime Minister to all below cabinet, Pradhan of the village. Krishna is on the top. So you practice devotional service, you are contacting Krishna. So the life of Dhruv Maharaj is an indication of even seriously practices devotional service. What is awaiting for him? Right. So Dhruv Maharaj did in Satyuga. Now same thing we can do in Kali Yuga, whatever is the process told in this age. He followed the process, he wanted to know the honest process to find Vishnu. Narad Muni told him the process. Similarly, Prabhupada has told us the process. How to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, follow the scriptures, take the action of the deities, avoid four regulative principles, try to follow them. Dhruv Maharaj is the emblem of steadiness. He chanted the mantra, focused on the mantra, day in, day out, first month, second month, third month, fourth month. Like similarly in our life, when we follow the principles, we can be steady. Steadiness comes in goodness. The four regulative principles are given for that. Why? Because suppose somebody is doing gambling, share market, somebody was asking something. So what happened? Too quick money, too quick gain, too quick loss. Right? It makes a person unstable. Similarly, intoxication. Somebody gets high, right? He drinks, immediately consciousness little bit gets altered. He smokes a cigarette, consciousness gets high. Then for another high, he needs another cigarette. It makes a person unstable, these things. Getting the point. That's why these are restricted. Gambling or intoxication. Similarly, illicit sex. Any wrong connection, mind will be unstable. What to speak, what to do, so many lies, so many things here, right? So that's why these are the principles. Dhruv Maharaj is the emblem of steadiness. We can see the desired result when we steadily follow some process for some period of time. The steadiness is very important. If we are not steady, we lose the faith. When we lose the faith, then it's a very great loss. There is knowledge, desire and faith. If your knowledge gets affected because of doubt, somebody can clarify the doubt. It is little quick. If your desires get little affected, even desires can be replaced. You can get good desires by good association. But faith, once get lost, it becomes not easy to repose the faith again. Not easy. जैसे आप किसी डॉक्टर के पास आपका कोई रिलेटिव इलाज कराने गया, वो डॉक्टर ने उसका ऑपरेशन करते करते उसने किडनी निकाल लिया उसका, और आपको ऑपरेशन के बाद पता चला कि अरे इसमें रिलेटिव डॉक्टर ने ऐसे किया, अब वो डॉक्टर अच्छा हो गया, अब आप उससे करेंगे ऑपरेशन? Faith is not easy to do. Faith is very difficult. So what happens when we are not practicing spiritual life? We are playing with the faith. When we don't practice spiritual life properly, we play with the faith. And then what happens? When our faith is not strong, then we can't stay. And faith is not easy to get. Another thing is what habits we develop when we are young in Krishna consciousness. They remain and they can be severe at the time of death. And those habits remain. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, you are not serious. You does not do the things. Do things right at the first go, the best possible. The more you delay, the more difficult it is. Someone is not attentive in reading Prabhupada books, not regular. The later, the more he postpones, the more difficult it will be for him to read Prabhupada. Somebody is not attentive in hearing, regular in hearing. Somebody is not attentive, is not attending morning program. You will find later it becomes difficult. These all things, better is to make it a habit and make a habit of doing it properly. Somebody not chanting properly, like that, and he gets into a habit of not chanting properly, not listening to Mahamantra, not sitting properly, not hearing properly. He will get into the habit of finishing rounds. The same Mahamantra is carrying unlimited potency. Naam Rup Guna Leela is within the holy name. But because he got the wrong habit, he is losing a lot. Like that. So Dhruv Maharaj followed the instructions of Narad Muni with faith and with absorption and properly. He didn't just do it. He just did it with the best of his capacity, with the best of his attention and the best of his absorption. So all of you are very, very fortunate, extremely fortunate, because you have got the same opportunity which Dhruv Maharaj had in Satyuga. But you have your free will and conscious choice. With what absorption, with what faith, with what kind of focus we want to be spiritual life. Like that. So that is a lesson from the life of Dhruv Maharaj. Okay, any questions? Any questions, comments on this? So thank you very much for all of your attentive listening. All the best for your exams. When the exams are coming next week. Next weekend? 18.
19. Change or reschedule.
Huh?
Reschedule from 19 onwards.
19. No, after 19.
From 19.
From 19. Good. Thank you. Be consistent in your studies. Yes.
गुरुजी ये सवाल ये था कि जैसे क्यों ध्रुव जी के साथ ऐसा हुआ और कोई नहीं था, क्या उनके पास का मतलब पीछे उनके कर्म अच्छे थे या फिर और किसी साथ ध्रुव जी के साथ हुआ, कॉन्शियसनेस उनको इतनी जल्दी क्यों हो गया?
Good question. So the question is why it happened to Dhruva only, such kind of injustice, and after that such determination he exhibited. Injustice may happen to many, but many may not become Dhruva. Like that. Two things. Of course, Dhruv Maharaj also had a past. In the past life also, Dhruv Maharaj has done devotional service in good ways. There is a past history. He was a Brahmana, all that. We have to understand one principle. When we study the lives of great souls, we don't study to become someone. We study to become a better version of ourselves. All of us are influenced by our past. But we are not prisoners of our past. We might be the product of our past, but we are not prisoners of our past. Means because of past influence, we got some body. Gross body and subtle body. And there are some impurities in the mind because of past. Whatever we did in past life and in past in this life. So that all thing is affecting us, and based on that we have certain intelligence, certain determination, all that is there. But now we have a free will to act properly and expand on that. For anyone to become Dhruva, he also started journey from zero. Getting the point? Everyone starts journey from zero, and from there he reaches. Anyone who ever. So that opportunity is us. Okay? Alright. Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki.
जय
Kirtan outside.